Remember when you were in primary school and spent your days jotting down notes from the whiteboard onto the lined pages of your notebook? When you swapped themed stickers with your friends to decorate your stationery and had an array of colorful gel pens to doodle with? Yet somewhere along the way, we replaced our highlighters with keyboards, our papers with screens, and our childhood with adulthood. But our childhoods weren't the only things that vanished when technology found its way into the classroom, because research suggests that we may have lost our comprehension abilities too. Let me explain. A research paper fittingly titled "The Pen is Mightier Than the Keyboard" involved a series of experiments conducted at the universities of California and Princeton. In this study, the students were split into two groups and asked to attend a lecture. The first group utilized a good old-fashioned pen to make handwritten notes, whilst the second group utilized a keyboard. The results indicated that while both groups could memorize the facts equally well, the group who took handwritten notes had a better understanding of the concepts, even though they were slower and didn't take as many notes as the keyboard group did. This is because using a pen allows the student to reframe the facts in their own words, thus leading to higher cognitive engagement and ergo better comprehension. So why then are we still using technology in the classroom? Well, first, to get a solid answer to this pressing question, researchers conducted a few more experiments of a similar nature. The experiments ranged from comparing the value of images over text to handwritten flashcards versus typed notes. So far, the results have been inconclusive. So essentially, the verdict is that there is no verdict. And second, we can't deny that technology is revolutionizing the way we learn, and not just through our keyboards. Obviously, there's no saying the word technology without also mentioning AI. We've even gotten to the point where robots with 50 different personalities are interacting with students to enhance their learning experience. Yeah, you heard that right.
The personalities, it has the many personalities, more than 50 personalities. This is from the Farhat robot companies. Every month or every quarter, they're updating the new personalities. For our research, we're using 4 personalities. Is the standard personalities is called Omar, Fernando, Yummy, and Joy. Those personalities is using to see how is the impact with the students with the 12 the factors using like analytics, attitude, facilitating conditions, interactions to use, perceive adaptability, perceive employment, perceive it is used, and perceive capability, with the perceived usefulness, social influence, social persons, and trust. This is as the dependent variables, and we have independent variables, gender, age, voice, and perspective. And the mediated variables is behavior, interaction with the student.
But Dr. Falah from Sahara University in Oman, or the man behind the robot, so to speak, was adamant that these technological advancements would never replace the human touch, but rather complement it.
Supportive rules, as robot like Farhat, is currently used in education as a tool to supplemental teaching rather than replace a human education. Technology evaluation. The technology behind education robots is adapting for rapidly, while they may not replace the teacher. Essentially, they could be increasing, assisting to respective tasks for learning experience or helping with the specific subject with the experience, like experience action. This is a human element more than just information delivery.
So we've seen robots that aid learning and teaching in the classroom, but how do you measure how effective these advancements really are? And this doesn't just go for robot teachers either. How can human teachers make sure their students have adequately grasped the lessons they'll be tested on and trusted to carry it with them to the workplace? Well, Dr. Ijaz from Al Buraim University in Oman may have hacked the system. Instead of relying too much on formative assessment and class discussions, he's actually found a way to use AI in his classroom to monitor students' performance, potentially offering a more efficient alternative.
The main aim of this study is to monitor the academic performance of the student throughout semester. So as the semester goes, we just track the student's academic performance. And in that case, if we find any student and the AI system predicts that based on the current performance of the students, the ongoing academic activities, the student has higher chances to fail the course or perform very low. So in that case, these systems, they recognize these students, and then we can provide them further supportive or preventive measures to bring the student back to the right academic path.
But we all know that generative AI hasn't just been used by educators in the classroom. Enter any prompt or essay question into ChatGPT, and it can write you a decent, grammatically correct answer on any topic in just a couple of seconds. It is the perfect cheating tool for students. So if students are using AI for their classwork and educators are using AI to monitor these students' performance, doesn't that entire process just become redundant? That's not the only foreseeable problem, though. AI is also notorious for getting answers wrong. For example, take this response by ChatGPT when asked how a man and a goat who have a boat can cross a river. The man takes the goat across the river first, leaving the boat on the original side. Then the man returns alone with the boat. He leaves the goat on the other side and takes the boat back to the original side. Finally, he takes the cabbage across the river. This really begs the question, how accurate and reliable are these AI systems in assessing students' performance?
The effectiveness of all AI systems, it highly depends on the quality of the data used to train them. So I would say that AI systems are quite accurate in evaluating student performance, especially when they have access to comprehensive and high-quality data. Now, in our research, we have achieved a high accuracy, around 85 to 90%, which is significant. But still, I would say that AI should complement human judgment, but it cannot replace the human, of course.
Alright, so we've eliminated the likelihood of random cabbages popping up in Buraim University, but what does Dr. Ijaz mean by high-quality data? As we've already established, AI systems can spew out large amounts of information in record time. But in order for them to do that, there has to be someone, a human, feeding them all this data and information. The scariest part about all of this is that if this one human fed even slightly biased information into the AI system, it would skew the algorithm. Then, when this AI system is used by other people, they too can inherit the algorithm's bias. On and on the cycle goes, causing potentially harmful effects. That aside, there's also the pressing issue of data privacy, which Dr. Ijaz has also brought to our attention.
Even using AI, as we said, that one of the major concerns is protecting the students' personal information in this context. Now, as I mentioned before, that AI systems, they require a lot of data to function effectively, including details about students' performance, their behavior, their personal background. So I think if this data isn't handled properly, it could be exposed to unauthorized access or misuse. So I would say that it's crucial to ensure that all students' data is stored securely and used in an ethical manner, respecting the students' privacy.
With all that being said, surely traditional learning still has its merits. It certainly has fewer pitfalls than technology-supplemented learning. I mean, I've personally never used AI in the classroom, and I turned out relatively okay. Why is AI even necessary in education if it has all these uncertainties?
This is a very interesting question. AI is an evolving technology, and I believe it will soon integrate into every aspect of our lives, much like the social media has become an essential part of our life. So AI can make learning more personalized, provide real-time feedback to the students, and I guess recognize students who need some additional help. Now, for instance, AI can track students' academic performance throughout the semester. And based on their progress, AI can offer personalized support and recommend resources to keep the students on the right path. Now, as I mentioned that at Al-Buraimi University College, we have been working on similar projects to integrate the use of AI in education, analyze the findings, and further enhance both the teaching and learning with these systems. So I believe, academic institutions, they should adopt AI technology to make the teaching, learning, and overall institutional progress more sophisticated. We can say that AI can be used as a modern tool to enhance the outcome of these traditional methods. And the traditional methods, they often rely on periodic assessments, which may not capture the ongoing live academic progress of the students. But in contrast, if you see, the AI can continuously monitor the students' progress, adapt to each student's learning path, and offer more personalized resources and feedback. So I guess these are much challenging to achieve in traditional settings. So in this case, I believe that while we can make a comparison between the two, it is somehow essential to integrate both technologies, the traditional methods and AI for better tracking and enhancing teaching and learning environments. So I believe that by combining the strengths of both traditional approaches and the AI, we can create a more effective and supportive educational experience for the students.
Of course, AI also clearly has its advantages, whether it's within the classroom or outside of it. But I'm not here to sway you in one direction over the other. I'm just relaying the facts. But until we get solid policies and frameworks for the regulation of AI, it's wise to know what you're in for. Now, where were we? So far, we've discussed the role of the pen versus the keyboard in learning, social robots in the classroom, and AI to monitor students' performance. I've almost ticked off all the boxes, but there's one more thing to add to this list of learning tools, and this one is a game. Gamification isn't exactly a new concept. Lots of brands have been using this tactic for a while because it helps them tap into the natural human desire for competition and achievement. If you've tried using Duolingo to learn a new language at any point in your life, you'll know exactly what I mean. But Dr. Mathew from Al-Buraimi University took this to a new level when he decided to integrate gamification into education, making a programming game called ProSolve.
When they play the game, they can collect 1 point for each correct lines or correct steps when they do. And they can win some sort of bronze medal if they collect total points between 49 to 100. Win a silver medal if the total collected points are in between 99 to 200. And they can also win a gold medal if total collected points are 200 or more. Like that it is. It is virtual medal, not a real medal. It is mainly to attract students to learn things in a simplified way. Actually, it involves integrating game design and, some sort of game elements to be included in teaching so that it arouses the students' interest. Normal learning is sometimes, really boring, isn't it? But adding some sort of gaming elements into it, making learning more interesting and attractive, light and understandable.
Sure, Dr. Roy, I can see how class could get boring if I was studying programming. No shade to all the computer science majors though, but if you are struggling with programming, the game is available to everyone online. All you have to do is go on www.mserves.com and click the link for ProSolve, and then you can get playing. But Sarah, what if I get so good at programming and my skills start to improve? Never fear, students, because Dr. Roy took that into account too.
The game can evolve by getting experiences and sharing and getting feedback from the students. Can evolve further by introducing more challenges in computer problems as students progress, adding new features to this game, like giving more bonus rounds, making it more multiplayer modes to make it more interesting, and provide them, with more bonus rounds mainly for collaborative learning and incorporating feedback from students to refine gameplay and difficulty levels can be improved further upon.
So far, so good, right? Not so fast. Gamification is all fun and games, pun not intended, until perverse incentive comes in. This phenomenon occurs when an incentive has undesirable and unintended consequences that are contrary to the goals of the designers. The most famous example of perverse incentive is known as the Cobra effect, and it's widely hailed as the biggest gamification fail in history. In 19th century India, back when the country was under British colonial rule, there was a public health crisis. There were way too many cobras roaming the streets of India, and it was getting annoying and dangerous. In order to get rid of the problem, the governor decided to incentivize killing these snakes by offering a cash reward for each tail handed over to the local magistrate. And it worked, for a while at least. The cash reward was so enticing that people realized they could breed the cobras themselves and make a lot of money. When the British got wind of what was happening, they put a stop to the program immediately, but it was too late. All the cobra wranglers released their snakes back into the wild, and the crisis became worse than it was in the first place. Of course, Dr. Roy is no stranger to perverse incentives because he highlighted these risks himself.
There are risks and challenges, definitely, yes. Some students may give more importance to rewards of acquiring points and winning, cups, even though it's virtual. Their interest goes for winning things. It includes, over-dependence on rewards, which are not really essential. That's only a part of it. Our main aim is to, teach those concepts, especially object-oriented programming and all such difficult things. That's the aim. But sometimes students, give more importance to rewards, which might weaken the essential thing about learning problem-solving skills. Another area of concern is development, cost, how much, it's a lot of money sometimes and time, a lot of time involved in it. Cost, money as well as time for creating high-quality games. A game should also, align with educational goals. Another issue or challenges I can say about accessibility issues for students who may not have proper access, required technology or resources. These are some sort of challenges or risk that we face.
Despite these challenges, the game seems to be working quite well because the students have found ProSolve to be quite an efficient way to learn programming, and have even advocated for its use in more advanced programming classes. In fact, 76% of students have had a better understanding of programming languages after playing ProSolve, and also 76% of students have agreed that the game motivates them to learn programming courses and makes learning more interesting and simple. That's quite a significant percentage. That's all the learning tools I have in store for you today, but all these technological advancements are giving me FOMO. Maybe it's time for me to get another degree so I don't miss out on robot teachers. This was Sara Lawati on 90.4 Aman FM.